camera again. Alright, camp fans and suckers for punishment. We are back on day 2 of our Killarney trip on Norway Lake. I probably look pretty dark, but oh well. Why don't we turn this way? So, first things today. I guess we'll start with first things. Why not, eh? Fuck it. We're going to make some breakfast and coffee, and boy, do we have some exciting video footage of that. But it is quite cold. There's not a single fucking birch tree around here. I like birch bark for starting fire. So I think today is going to be about the quest for firework. See, my brain is slightly frozen. Quest for firewood. Yeah, I had a real shit fire last night. Enough to cook a couple of those shitty hot dogs that I brought, but they were quite tasty. But we are dire low on firewood and fire starter. So over there, which is probably too bright for you to see, all that drifty shit that's on the sides of the banks there, especially that stuff that spends all day in the sun, that is good firewood. Hopefully the wind isn't screwing up my sound. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take down our food barrel. Golden Buddha was successful at keeping the gods of plague and calamity away last night. We had a very nice sleep. In fact, I went to bed at around 9 and got up at around 9, which I never do at home. So that's that would be, if you're camping, that's like the height you want. Sometimes you don't have any trees close by in order to get the barrel that high, and you just have to make do with what you have, but that's pretty much perfect. All right, I'm going to sign off for now, and we'll talk more later. Okay, welcome to Camp Cooking with Davies. First, we'll look at our stove, because, you know, looking at stoves is really exciting. So let's get to it. Now, you might be like, Davies, what are you doing? Are you starting a fucking meth lab out there? Nope, this is actually a stove. So now, this stove might be a bit overkill for a one-person, 5-day trip. I'll put my hand by it for scale. So you can get those ones with just a little burner on the bottom of a thing that looks kind of like that, and that's good for a few days. But if you're like me and you go with your wife every year for 2 weeks, or sometimes by yourself, you need a lot of camp fuel to get you through. So then you need this buddy here. And so yeah, you just take the cap off, you screw this thing. This is like a primer pump that got melted in a bizarre cooking accident. And yeah, so there's the stove up close. And then we'll get on to the camp cookery. So I apologize, camp cookery is severely backlit, but what can I do? It's fucking sunny over here and it's darkness here. Big surprise. So you're just gonna have to deal. I might change the camera angle a little because it looks like we see more sky and less cookie. Yeah, that's a little bit better, methinks. All right, now let's get some food. So in the Super Bear barrel, I have smaller bags that have breakfast and dinner sort of split up. So what we seek here for the kekiteur is the coffee. And the reason why I say kekiteur is because we are going to do our camp coffee European style. That's right. So you don't have to bring all this extra bullshit like little fucking filters and little cups and balls, you know, because we're camping, right? We're roughing it. I'm going to show you how to do this up. It's kind of European style. It's a little bit, well, no, I've seen actually Arena buy coffee like this in Poland, just served up. So basically, we're going to cook it with the grinds in it. So I've measured out my coffee thing, and does it say I'm out of battery? Bright light. Oh, I don't know. There's all this shit flashing up on the damn thing. Looks like maybe low battery, I don't know. We'll see if it just shuts off. I'll jam in another battery. Now, what I need to do is find a lighter. We have our water ready. This will probably be pretty fast. So, I'm not actually going to start cooking that just yet. We'll make our oatmeal. So I had a bit of water left over for the coffee, so I guess we'll just use that for our oatmeal. There's a piece of shit floating around in it. We're going to open... Oh my god, this hasn't been opened yet. We're going to open our oatmeal. Maybe I'll measure this out too. Holy shit, is it ever being a dick? It's like, Davey, I don't want to open. Oh, you little piss willy. Look at this. Let's everybody watch an ignorant man try to open up some stupid oatmeal. Come on. So this is some kind of, there, just show it who's boss, you know. This is some kind of hippie oatmeal. Some organic stuff. Because out here, you want to eat good food, or you're going to die. You probably won't die. But you want to have a lot of energy, because everything you do out here consumes a lot more energy than when you're at home, say. Like making breakfast takes far more effort out here than it does at home. So we go into our super thing here. I got some fucking hippie seeds, okay? We got flax seeds and those chia seeds, freaking sunflower seeds, and pumpkin seeds. They're gonna put a bunch of that shit in with it because it's healthy. We like to be healthy, even though our language isn't always healthy. Can't do everything right. Yes. Let's zip this up. Tell you what, my fingers are bloody cold. Can't wait to get my goddamn gloves back on, let me tell you. Now I'm going to put this there, and now another good thing to add, oh fuck, the salt isn't in here, is some salt. So when you're camping, another good thing is make sure everything's covered at all times, because the squirrels and chipmunks are very resilient, very fast. Okay, here we go again. We got salt. This time, fingers are cold as fuck. Woo! You know, and the thing is, I don't know, it's supposed to be like high of... Okay, I lost battery there. I'm realizing now that this will probably be a very short camp video due to the fact that I ate through one battery in one day. That fucking sucks. So, yeah, next video I do, it's gonna be a PowerPoint like at work. Of course it's not, I'm kidding. So now, here comes the really exciting part. We're gonna light this thing, and we're gonna actually get warm for a few seconds, because this thing is actually quite fiery. So you turn on the thing, you let this thing flood with gas. Come on, flood with gas. Alright, here we go. So you get her all floody shit stuff with gas. Then you turn it off. Make sure you turn it off. Don't be a dick. Don't blow your face off. Turn the fucker off. Lighter. Ooh. Oh. Come on, you're gas. You're supposed to fucking light. You gotta be kidding. This is where I burn my face off. I've never seen this not light before. And why is it leaking? Okay, so here's something that's not good. The stove appears to be leaking. Why? And it's not lighting here. Okay, well, this is making morning breakfast more exciting. Let's see if we can, wow, not leak. There's a gasket in this thing that sometimes goes. Or maybe I just put too much gas in the bottle, I don't know. Anyway, it should fucking light. Wow, unlike my lighter. Fuck. Alright, well, let's put this on pause again. Okay, we got her lit. It's still leaking though, for some fucked up reason. Which is not good. You put the wind barrier on it. And then you give it some... And then it's gonna really cook off. Alright, so I usually make the coffee first. This is coffee, so we're just gonna boil the water. Fuck, this thing's being a dick today. Holy shit. Gonna put the water on first. Make sure there's no shit on the bottom. Wow, this is not very stable. Look, babies. Gonna try not to pour boiling water all over myself. Why is it such a lamp? And then we get our coffee ready. So for 2 people, I usually do, I think it's 3 big heaping tablespoons. For this, I'm going to do one and a bit, like that, for 1 person. We'll see how that goes. Now it won't take too long for the water to boil, because this thing cooks really fast. Looks like it stopped leaking. I might have overfilled the gas bottle. I don't know. It sucks when it leaks though. Davies doesn't like that. Why is it such a fucking dick? Now, I use this stove all the time. It's the first time it didn't just light just because it's on video. But it looks like we've got the situation under control, as long as I don't flip the water onto myself. Speaking of water, I'm going to add a bit more to my oatmeal while that's cooking. About that much should do. I feel it so that the water just covers the top. Depends on whether you like watery oatmeal or sticky oatmeal. Davies is going to try not to burn himself too badly out in the woods by himself. The water's starting to look kind of boily. The stove is a bit of dick though. Maybe I put it in a not so level spot, I don't know. We'll sort it out for the next cook, which is going to be tortellini and pasta sauce. Sometimes you can give this guy a little bit more juice by cranking the little primer. That just adds more air to the tank, to the wank tank. Doesn't seem to be leaking anymore, which is good. I think this video thing takes up a lot of bloody battery. I don't think the batteries respond too well to the cold too, which is kind of a... oh well. We're trying our best. This is our very first camp video, so it'll probably suck. But, like all things, you start to learn, and then the next one gets better. So the water isn't fully boiling yet, which is good. This is when you want to put your coffee in. Because if it's really rolling, boiling, as soon as you put the coffee in, it's going to steam up and overflow, and you'll say bad words. Not the good kind of fun bad words either, but like the ones that really mean it, like... So I put this in, and you can't see it. Sucks to be you, but hey. I'm just basically mixing the coffee in, so there's no big mystery here. And I'm gonna cook the fuck out of it. Well, not cook the fuck out of it, but I'm gonna cook it until it starts to foam up. So you gotta have your little handle, and once it foams up, then we're just going to set it aside and put the lid on it and wait a few minutes. This gets quite hot too, so even when you let it sit for a few minutes, it's going to be hot coffee, so be careful not to burn your face. So it's starting to foam up now. Going to try to get as much grinds into it as possible. And once it goes super foamy shits, there, super foamy. Then we just take it off, set it aside, put the lid on, and just let the coffee settle. And it'll be quite good, I promise. And then we go right to our oatmeal. La. And I just basically cook this until it boils lightly. You don't have to boil the shit out of oatmeal. It's probably better if you don't. So, you know what? At this point, I'm gonna stop it. You see me make some cookies? Fuck, I can't talk today. Maybe I'm getting some... yeah, anyway. Now, you've seen me start the stove, and you've seen me make my bloody coffee, and everyone knows what it looks like when an ignorant guy is stirring up oatmeal. So we're gonna end breakfast at this, and we'll have a quick little preview of what the breakfast looks like when it's all done. Well, that's our oatmeal having cooked up. Nice. What's going on, like macro or some shit, I don't know. And then here's our coffee as it grinds are settling. So yeah, the grinds will settle right to the bottom, and then you carefully just pour it into your coffee cup, and there'll be no grinds in it. There's a few at the bottom when you're done, but sometimes it's very few, you know, and then you just don't drink that part. And it's quite delicious. Next part is for mature audiences only. Fuck that, as if there's anything mature about this video. But yeah, we're gonna get a little bit X-rated. Well, no, not X-rated, don't worry. It's not that kind of film. Maybe R-rated. Because people say, you know, when you're out in the woods, how come you don't smell like a beast after all that sweating and bullshit? Why do you smell so nice? And let me tell you, I'm a nice smelling fucker. But the sad truth is that even though it's 11 degrees, in order to get clean, one has to jump into that. Now, that is quite nice in the summertime, but today it is going to be a challenge. So, you might hear me scream a little, or maybe a lot, or maybe I'll jump the fuck in and I won't come back out. Let's hope that doesn't happen, because then this will be like one of those found videos, like the Blair Witch Project, like, ooh, he jumped in the lake and never came back, come on. So, let's see what fucking happens. Fuck! Yeah, that's enough of that. Oh. Yep. So I'm out collecting firewood out in the middle of the lake on my one-man canoe. It's quite pretty. The wind's died down a little bit. Sorry, I think I'm backlit again. Maybe I'll come over this way. Still backlit. Anyway, we're out on the lake getting firewood. That's our goal for today. There's less light. Sorry, the wind's probably kicking up too. There's less light in the day, and yesterday it kind of threw me off because it got dark like before 7. So you really have to get down and get your shit together, and get it done in time. Because I had to do a lot of stuff in the dark last night. So, yeah. So we shall continue on with wood collection. Wood collection. Alright. Now, I'm on a search for birch. I want some birch bark for fire starter, and maybe we'll get some good wood. But this is an actual portage that goes over to Killarney Lake. And look at this. It's bloody flooded. It's been raining so much. There's actually a stream running right across it. Or maybe it turns? No, it doesn't. This is the portage. Cool, eh? Wow. Wow. Glad I didn't go to Killarney Lake. This would suck with all your gear. I'm gonna see if I can find a place to cross and find some birch trees. So, we got our firewood. This should be good enough for Davies for 2 nights. And we'll get it all cut up for the fire. This dry driftwood stuff is good to use because it doesn't have bark on it. It's all dried out. It's going to burn like hell. Davy's out. Here's hoping it's not too windy in the microphone here. I decided to fix my stove. It looked like there was a gasket. That's why it was leaking this morning. So it's a good idea to bring a repair kit for your stove. You can cook shit on the fire, but if you get caught in a lot of rain, you're pretty much fucked if you don't have a stove. And then if you're like me today, you can't really have camp fuel leaking out, because if that catches on fire, the whole stove could explode. And while we're at it, I just went to get my this is my geeky utility belt, and this kind of stuff is stuff you should have if you're going to be a serious interior camper. You need a good knife. This is a buck knife. It sharpens as it goes in. Yeah. Use it all the time for everything. Sorry if the wind is making this sound like shit. And what I went to grab the tool for is this multi-tool, because I'm going to use it to fix my stove. Multi-tool. Oh yeah, there's a big fuck off lighter, but it's out of fuel, so we'll piss him off. Binoculars. If you're interior camping, especially here in Killarney, I mean, I know these lakes pretty well, but if you don't, sometimes it's hard to spot your portage because the portage signs are just tiny. In Algonquin, they're quite large, but you can't count on it. But I mean, these binoculars come in handy in so many ways. Sometimes when you're out in the middle of a lake and you want to see if a campsite is vacant, but you can't see, you know, you can always just pull out the binoculars. And then of course, here's my camera case. The only thing they don't have is a good like waterproof camera case. I don't know why, but that would be good. Anyway, that's my nerdy tools. I'm going to continue fixing my stove because soon it will be time for dinner. And it actually got quite lovely, quite sunny, and it's pretty warm here now. A lot warmer than when I jumped in the water this morning. But here's the roundabout view of Norway Lake in the sun. It's probably about 15 degrees here, so that's pretty good. The sun has set, and I've eaten dinner, and we are going to light our fire. Last night's fire was very subpar, so tonight we're going to try and do better. Let's see if we've achieved that. Here's the little pile of firewood I attained today. There's some under the tarp in case it rains. It doesn't look like rain, but you never know out here. Yeah. Whatever's left over tonight, I'll stick back under the tarp, but let's see if this fire lights. Last night's fire wasn't even worth showing. It was such balls. Let's see if this is a one lighter fire. I think it's good. I got some birch bark. These little sticks you keep close by so that you can feed the fire in case it starts to act like a dick. But you start off with little shit and then you go up with big shit. So it looks like that's a one light fire. Fuck yeah. And let's look at the sunset again. There's a jet going by. Oh yeah, there's no one else on Norway Lake tonight. It's just me. Groovy. Now this is a fucking proper fire. It's actually warm. It's actually burning. All right. This is the inside of the tent at night. It is much colder now than it was earlier. Here's Dark Davies. So I'm going to get dressed. Well, not dressed, undressed, and then dressed up in warm shit, and then go to sleep. So ends another fucking day of success stories. Tomorrow we'll bring more and see how long our batteries last. That's all for today. Fuck you!